That's it.
Good evening, good afternoon, Keeps Up the Cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and I am joined with a nice group of people. We got our curmudgeonly couple and Eddie and Taylor. We got the superstar and DJ. We got the up-and-comer and Jimmy Jams. And we got the man with the fattest stack of comics and some guy from a small town or something. I don't know.
That's the Don. That's the Don to you, sir.
And we of course got my usual suspect Eddie with us, Jimmy from Small Town Collectibles.
The Don needs a lamp. Go subscribe to his channel so you can get a lamp to front light its face.
Yeah, you're not in your creepy van anymore. You can have lights on yourself.
I know, right?
How you gents doing this evening?
Oh, not bad, man. How you doing?
Doing good.
I am great. So what are we here for tonight? We are here to talk Instagram mystery boxes.
Oh, I thought we were here to talk about Pokemon.
Right? Well, I know. We'll get to that for you
So
later.
disappointing.
Pokemon mystery boxes. But we all know the big sellers. We all know our boxed heroes. We all know our mainstream comics. The big box sellers like that. And what you mostly get out of those big box sellers is a bunch of modern books that you already picked up at your LCS. So the goal of our show tonight is to introduce our audience to sellers and buyers and what exactly you guys do differently than the big companies and why people should be taking a look at Instagram when they're making their next mystery box purchase. You guys all sell a bit differently. You guys all sell in different ways. You guys all approach mystery boxes with your own flair and style. I got DJ here as a commentator as well as a guy that purely buys. And we'll get his input as a buyer as to what he's looking for. But we got JC coming in right here. So we got some Instagram sellers in Jimmy Jams and JC Comics. Evening, JC.
Yo.
We got Taylor, Eddie,
What's going on, folks?
Rob, and Jimmy from Small Town that all sell on Instagram. So we are going to open this up with just a couple quick introductions. And Rob, why don't you start us off with little quick introduction, the 30-second sell on who Rob Fat Stacks is.
Rob's Fat Stacks is this wonderful mustache, and then there's a guy behind him. I talk about slab books, and I do a lot of openings. I'm a bigger buyer than I am a seller. I do like 2 mystery boxes a year is about all I do, and usually in the mid-grade space. But I'm more of a buyer and less of a seller.
All right, Eddie, what's going on over in your corner, sir?
I'm back. Whoa, somebody's doubling the mic here. Pretty much I got back into it after not collecting for 25 years and got addicted again and started doing mystery boxes to feed my addiction. Do 2 videos a week, and me and Taylor and Rob do a show every Sunday night, and that's about it. Quick. Some people get mad at me because I throw shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Small Town, you're up, buddy.
I'm the Don. You know who I am. No,
He only has 10 questions, and that's it.
Yeah, no, just Jimmy Kerr, the Don, Small Town Collectibles YouTube channel, home of 10 questions and first appearances and key issues and new comic book down a budget. And then I do some mystery boxes on there as well that I give away to the people who watch. And then occasionally come out and hang out with Gary B on Thursday nights with the usual suspects. So,
Right, Taylor?
I'm the most pleasant mystery box unboxer ever. I never complain about any boxes. I review comics in a purely pleasant manner. I never complain about any comics I read.
I don't think I've ever seen you in a controversy.
Never.
Oh, never.
I'm never getting boiled. I'm far above it. I don't get sucked into the muck. I don't You know, everything I do is flawless and blameless, and nobody ever has an issue with anything I say. And I just started a show called Unboxing Match where I swap mystery boxes with a guest every week. So the first one dropped yesterday. You can find it on my channel. And it's my new way of hopefully trying to fix some of this mystery box bullshit mess. So,
Oh, it's a mess.
yeah.
And DJ, who just crossed 2K subs. Congratulations, sir. What's up with you?
Thank you. Greatly appreciated. I'm DJ Lynx. I'm still healing from some of the straight shots that I caught standing next to Taylor Winder on the last mystery box
Oh, you
conversation.
guys got shotgun blasts.
Just standing next to Taylor Winder, I walked away with like a half a limb.
I just called DJ my human shield.
Yeah, thank you. So on the channel, we do mystery boxes, hot toys reviews, unboxings. I just like spending money. And then on Fridays, I have the In the Mix, which is more like a hangout interview type forum. So it's going to be pretty cool. This Friday is actually going to be pretty cool. I'm like so looking forward to this Friday. I'm already talking about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Jimmy James Warner, what's up, buddy?
Not much, man. So I guess I'm published now in Reggie's book. So, you know, I'm awesome, I guess. I do mystery boxes, custom mystery boxes. I got themed boxes. I also do like low price point boxes. Basically, I just have too many comics now. I went ham right before COVID happened. I basically bought out like shops full of their comics because I was like, crap, I got a ton of money. And I was like, all right, I'm going to buy up boxes of comics because I just got back into it. And I overloaded myself. So now I'm at 67 long boxes that I am slowly but surely getting through. So, yeah. In the meantime, I'm trying to provide awesome mystery boxes to everybody in the community.
And JC, what's up, sir? How are you?
What's up, brother? How's it going, man? See if I can get through this. I don't know. It looks like my Wi-Fi is a little iffy, but we'll do the best we can. But yeah, I'm JC Comics. I'm not a YouTuber or anything. I just pretty much sell comic books on Instagram. For the last 2.5 years, my page has pretty much been all about mystery boxes. So buying, selling, reviewing, helping other people and creators curate. I've done some themed mystery boxes. I've worked with some artists and teamed up on mystery boxes. I've worked with other mystery box sellers. So mystery boxes kind of been my thing. Mystery boxes. I've sold guys. I've bought in from a few of you guys. Actually, I just bought a mystery box from Jimmy a couple days ago. So yeah, you know, mystery box is it's a fine art. So some of us make it. We can partake some of that knowledge on the masses. How we go.
Internet fail.
Right? Yeah, he's fading out.
That's all I got.
So, DJ, let's start out this show with you, man. As a seller, as a buyer, why is Instagram your go-to over the big box companies? Where's your level of comfort come in buying from these people that you get to know on a personal level after a while?
Yeah, thanks, Gary, for that question. I think the comfortability in Instagram is knowing the people and getting to know them. So like I've bought from JC, you know, we have a relationship and all same thing with Jimmy. I've gotten from Jimmy in the past as well. It's just that level of comfortability as opposed to going to the like big stores. Like, gonna be honest, going to the big stores is when it's just like, shit, I need a mystery box to open. I don't have any content. Let me get this Box Heroes box.
Or that dreaded torpedo.
Nah, I've steered clear of torpedoes through torpedo mystery boxes throughout doing this whole thing. But I think, yeah, going to the Instagrammers and people that you know that are accessible, let's say. So I know like JC is not gonna ghost me or Jimmy's not gonna ghost me. Sometimes I do, you know, take a chance on other people. And so it doesn't work out the way we wanted to, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm more comfortable going with somebody on IG than going with one of the big box sellers.
Right. And as a buyer too, I'm sure there's a different level of excitement because when you're buying from Instagram sellers, usually you're going to get that mix that you like of Bronze Age, Silver Age, maybe even a Golden Age book here and there. But it's not all going to be what just came out and is on the comic book shelves that you already picked up for yourself at the LCS. So you know, like if I get a Yeah Man box or Jimmy Jams, I've bought stuff from JC before, and you always get something, at least to me, something cool, something different, something you can add to your PC that isn't always just, oh, all right, I got to move this.
Yeah, I agree. And you're getting stuff from collectors as well, so they know what they want. If they got a mystery box, what they want it to look like, and then it's just not moving inventory.
All right, so let's go over to James real quick. So James, as primarily a box seller on Instagram, how do you approach it? Because you're different. So the people I have here on our show tonight sell boxes at different tiers. You mostly deal with the affordable tiers in mystery boxes. Yours are usually $48 shipped, and you theme them, which every time there's a different theme, I think it's brilliant because it opens you up to different customers every time you do a box. But walk us through a little bit of your approach to selling your boxes on Instagram and why people should check out your page.
You're right about that. I chose to keep price point lower. I don't like to do the higher price points. The reason I did that is because oftentimes with mystery boxes, you see somebody put out a heavy hitter, and the heavy hitter, you're barely getting the value that you paid into it, or maybe even less, or just over. And I don't want to disappoint anybody. So doing the $48 price point, I can still hit my comics, but at the same time, keep inventory for the future, but still get you guys value. And that's the whole point. But like you said, touching on the themes, I'm able to pinpoint it to certain collectors. Like Star Wars is, I just ran the Star Wars one. Not everybody's into Star Wars, but those who are into Star Wars, they're going to enjoy a box like that because it's more geared towards them. But it's still got that mystery box aspect where I mix in other things. And that in turn opens their eyes to other things. And you never know, you might actually collect something else. Because I don't just build the mystery box just specifically for that, unless it's the custom boxes. But I want people to open their minds. Like you might find a new story, something else that you like. I can't tell you how many times I'm collecting runs of books that I never used to collect. Like I didn't care for, but because I got certain ones like from people's mystery boxes, I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna get the run, and then I'll read the whole thing. So it's to open the eyes, but also keep that price point low because then it allows me to give you guys value and still keep inventory so that I can keep doing this.
Nice. So I'm going to circle back to you with a couple more questions. We'll keep going through the thing here. So JC, we're going to bring you up next, sir. Now, you also do a lot of raffles. You usually specialize in mystery boxes that have like a big key book that someone's chasing after. Tell us a little bit about your approach to who you're trying to sell to out there in the comics world.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm aiming for those people who are looking for big books to add to the collection. Essentially, what I've kind of done was I build my price points around the value of like the big book of the slab. So if it's a $500 slab, I will call it like a $450 box, and then I'll throw in a bunch of raw books. That just makes sure that I'm covered on all ends in case values fluctuate or anything like that. But I always would get these mystery boxes, and I get a lot of good books, but I've always wanted to like kind of get a home run, and so I've always tried to deliver that home run on my newer boxes. And my boxes have changed over time. They've just you have to kind of really know your audience and know what they're looking for, what they prefer. And a lot of people like the big boxes. So I put a big book, a Grail book in there, and I kind of build and theme the box around it. Just so when you open that box up and you get to that last book, I want it to be mind blowing. So yeah, that's kind of the way I kind of build my boxes.
Now, one thing, and I know James does this, is when he does a run, it'll usually be 15 books or 20 books, right? So
Mhm.
the thing with that, I think is important for the people that are watching this to know that are looking to buy is when you're buying on Instagram, usually there's a finite amount of boxes which are a lower run and give you a better chance at hitting those grails than say buying from a big box company and you have a 1 in 3,000 chance.
Right. Yeah, no, 100%. I like to keep the run shorter and more intimate. I'll do like at max maybe like 10 boxes, and I may do them, between like 50 and $100 each. And then of course, once they sell out, we always do a raffle, a giveaway at the end, just for a little bit of extra incentive. Um, to kind of piggyback on the last video with Taylor, Wink, and DJ, they brought up a lot of good points, a lot of good things that I completely agreed with. And one of them was that whatever you pay for your box, you should get at the very least that in value, if not a little bit more. I saw some of the rebuttal videos and I just thought it was crazy, the idea that you shouldn't at the very least get the minimum that you paid. If you pay $100, you should at least get $100 worth of books.
Well, it's a strategy that's been working for Torpedo for a while.
Yeah. They throw the bait out there with the big book, and they get a lot of people for sure.
So let me put Dave Collects up here real quick. Dave Collects says, where do I get a box from this guy? Dave and anyone in the chat, everyone that is on this panel tonight, I have included each and every one of their links in the description below. If they have a YouTube channel, their YouTube link is there. If they also have an IG account, their IG link is there as well. If they only have IG or YouTube, those links are all provided. So you guys can find these guys, purchase from them, follow their channels, watch their content, see what they're opening, and see who they're buying from, and make your own decisions. So everyone's link is in the description to make it nice and easy for everyone. So let's go up here to Rob Fatstacks. Now, Rob, I've gotten to know you pretty well. And you're someone, when you're putting together your boxes, you do a fair amount of stress to hit value for your customers. Now, is that also because you're a buyer, or is that just your integrity intact in there?
Look, yeah, it's really about me as a person, and that I grew. Look, I'm old school, right? I look somebody in the eyes, I want to shake their hand. It means you're going to get a deal, type, that it means something, right? So when I put myself out there and I put something, I'm going to put my name on it, whatever. That's a reflection of me, and what you get from that, if you don't like it, then I take, that is personal, that you don't like me, not because, or it could mean that, right? Obviously, I work, so I usually make a point of the few boxes I've done, because I've only done maybe, I think this last batch I sent out is my 4th round of boxes. Like I said, I only do like 2 a year, 4th or 5th, because that first set was like a double set of boxes the first time I did it, which was stupid. But I've always wanted to be, look, I want somebody to see something that I do. I put my name on it. That means that I'm going to guarantee that one way or the other. And I'm going to do whatever it's going to do to make it sure that it's right. I want people to know that they can trust the product I'm going to get. Now, I've toyed at different price points on books and on boxes. And this last round was the highest price box I've done at $300. And I'm probably, the next time I do another round of boxes, it isn't going to be that high. I like somewhere in the $150 to $250 price range is a nice range for me when I'm making a box, because I like to make sure that there's always a slab along with some raw books in there, and that I can get people value for what they want. And I'm usually shooting, to try to be at least, 15% over value for what it is. That's just me. Because I'm not about when I'm selling my books and my box, it's not trying to make money necessarily, right? I have inventory that I do a lot of mail calls. I do pick up mystery boxes from time to time, but mostly I just get on these tangents with my collections, and I then have to periodically refocus. And sometimes also I do purchase things just because I do see them as value, and I'll hold them for a mystery box down the road. Um, and with that, I'll build out the box, and I'm conservative in my pricing evaluation of them. Then I'm underselling, like this last round of boxes we did. I only counted some, 10 out of 12 raw books, and not just the cheapest books. Like two of the mid tier books didn't even get counted when I was evaluating the uh, the value. So when I say that I was overvalued by my target percentage, that was with less books than are actually in there. So it's just kind of that extra insurance for me, because as a collector, first and foremost, I want to try to build a box that when I get it, I would open it up and be like, all right, yeah, all these books might not be for me, but I like this box. This is a solid box. I can do something with those other books that aren't for me.
Nice. All right, let's go over to Jimmy from Small Town Collectibles. Now, Jimmy, your whole approach is different too, because you will do a couple rounds a year of regular mystery boxes with the $100 or more price point, but you also sell boxes on eBay at the $25 and $50 price point. And so you're trying to hit all the demographics there. Now, how is it that you add value for each demographic that you're selling to?
Well, I don't really consider myself a mystery box builder. I consider myself a person who experiments. I'm one of those people that has to do something to figure out how to do it. So I have tried, $150 boxes. I've tried $100 boxes, $75 boxes, $35 boxes, 25. And what I try to do is just make sure I hit value, and I try to give a good sampling of different companies, whether it be DC, Marvel. I also like to throw some indies in there, something I might think somebody would like to read. I try to mix it up because that's what I like. I know, right? But as far as like I'm a reader. So I like to throw stuff in there sometimes that I think maybe somebody would enjoy reading, and maybe something that long term would have some kind of value down the road. I've messed up pretty much on every box I've ever built, at least with one customer. But that's the experimentation part of it for me, in trying to learn how to build a good mystery box, so that down the road once I kind of hone in what I'm comfortable doing, that I'm putting out a good product. But that's just how I have to do it. I've done that in everything I've ever done. But it's nerve-wracking for me because the prices change so much, and that's something I would love to ask Jimmy Jams and JC, as well as Eddie, because I think Eddie builds a really good box. Is about how they price those things, because I've done eBay's last solds, I've done cover price. I don't know if that's a good source, but I'll take the average sale and the last sold, and I'll take the lower of the two to try to get value. I've tried it 1,000 different ways just to try to get comfortable.
Well, nice. And that's the thing too that we're going to do on this panel. If any of you guys have any questions for anyone else, by all means, it's a discussion. Feel free to ask them. So,
I have a question for Eddie, actually.
Go ahead.
Crazy.
Eddie, why are you the way you are?
That is a great question.
He lives in Utah. The end of the story.
That way.
Yeah, I'm in Utah. That's about it. Can't find anything to throw.
And if I can, one of the comments I read was, let me see if I can find it again. They asked basically if mystery boxes should be more to make a profit or to move inventory, which I think is a great question. For me personally, I do not believe they can be, but I don't think they should. Mystery boxes should not be hugely profitable. If you're looking to make a huge profit on your books, mystery boxes is not the way to do it. Mystery boxes is a great way to move inventory, not the junk inventory or the dollar fill books that you don't want, but just if you have a lot of good books, or hey, I need this amount of money by Friday, then building a quick mystery box run is the way to do that. But under no circumstance should it be like you are making a huge profit on mystery boxes. And dare I say, you honestly, as a seller, you should really be kind of losing a little bit. You should be able to make more money individually selling these books and taking the time to piece out that collection one by one. But if you don't have the time, you don't want to put in the effort, then that's where the mystery box comes in. And you should be giving, I think at least like 150% value, but it also depends on like the higher you go up.
I think that's
if they get like $500 a mystery box, you can't give them $1,000 constantly worth of value. But
I think
there's
that's
a nice,
a good
middle ground for that.
I think the good delineation there really is the value of the books inside versus what you sell it for being different, as opposed to whether or not they're profitable or not. Because obviously you can acquire large amounts of inventory by buying out comic stores for a few dollars on a thing, and you can make money that way. You may have had books that you purchased at a longer ago that have been in your PC for a while, and their value now is significantly higher, and you could be making a profit off of what your expenses was. However, as a mystery box, definitely the value of the books should be, I think, higher than the individual sale lot, because of the fact you're asking, if for no other reason, you're asking somebody to say, hey, instead of taking $300 or $500 and going and buying that dollars amounts worth of books that you want, I want you to take a risk and a chance on getting some better book for a lesser value than, or some other stuff you didn't even know you wanted, type of thing, right? And you're going to get a couple things maybe that don't fit your personal collection, so you have to compensate for that. So I think that's the key delineation, is it's not that it's not a for-profit thing unless you're a business necessarily, but as an individual it can be for profit, but the value of what you're giving should be greater than the cost of the or at the minimum equal to the cost of the box.
Yeah, Rob's right on that. Mystery boxes, yes, you most likely shouldn't be making any kind of profit. If you do, it's marginal. However, like Rob said, you may come across a ton of books for cheap. And you go through the freaking things. I mean, I got 67 boxes, long boxes, that I still dig through and try to figure out the books. But if you acquire books at a lower rate, you can make a profit. But JC, like you said, you got to give value. No matter what you do, you got to give value. So you're saying 150%. That's totally right. Like, I want to hit 125 to 150% of the price paid, including the shipping. I include the shipping into everything because that person is paying for that. So I want to make sure that they're getting well above that. And, like Small Town was talking about, Jimmy, prices change constantly. Like, in a fraction of a week, you're going to be a $5 to $10 fluctuation, and it's ridiculous. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. But if you're overvalue, you're going to make it in the end, especially if you're in the 150% range.
Yeah, and I agree. Mad Spy's talking about international collector stuff, and that's why typically in all the boxes that I'll do, the last several I've done, I'll list here's the price, right? And there's a certain amount of that which I know is going to cover the cost of shipping. And usually by the time you put a couple slabs in there, domestic shipping is about $25 pretty much anywhere you go. So I always say, hey, look, if you're international and you want this, I'm gonna give you the $25 shipping credit. So that way it's like, okay, hey, the US folks are paying, this last round of boxes, it was $300. They're paying $300 shipped. 25 of that covers the cost of shipping. So if you're international, wherever you want me to ship it, I'll ship it globally, and I'll give you $25 off the cost, whatever the cost is of my shipping, to help try to make it. Now, obviously that still doesn't help sometimes when the box is $300 with exchange rates and everything else, but
And they
I think
shouldn't count that against the value of the box.
Right. So, but I think it's a nice, easy way. I've had several different international purchasers from that, and they really seem to appreciate, when you can do that instead of just limiting yourself to US only. Now, I know if you're doing higher volume of repetitive boxes like Jimmy Jam stuff, that may be something that you don't want to get into, but it is something that I think is nice to do as an occasional seller.
Now, before we get into our complete, I'm going to go to the roundtable format in a second, but I still wanted to hear from Eddie and Taylor on their approach because we didn't get to them yet, and I don't want to exclude them. Because I know Taylor's pretty picky when he approaches making a box. Kind of explain what you go through when you're putting together your boxes, Taylor.
Well, I have not made a ton of boxes either. I've done like a couple rounds, and then now I'm mostly doing what I call the unboxing match, where to swap boxes with people, and that's different. Where I can personalize the box to the person, and so that's a different approach. But like, yeah, I'm mostly looking for a couple things. I'm looking for when I'm putting together boxes, I want to make sure I at least hit 125 to 135% of value. It's just kind of a thing, and then also like a fair amount of variety with not a lot of filler. Like, I don't want the second or third issue or miniseries going in there unless that issue is a key and it's like the $400 issue, or whatever. Then it's a different thing. But like, I don't want to give somebody a book where like they are going to end up having to hunt down 45 other books for it if they actually want to keep the damn thing and read it. Like, if I don't think that's a great way to go about it.
No, but you also do something different. Like that one round of boxes, you included original art, which is unique to your box.
I did, and I do, but I don't. I know some sellers consider that as part of the value of the box. But what I've learned is that buyers don't give a rat's ass. Like they consider the art to be very cool, but like when they're evaluating whether or not it's a good box or they hit value, they generally don't consider that as part of the value. And I understand.
Right, go ahead and show it off, DJ.
Yeah.
I keep it next to me, near and dear to the original art.
I mean, just because DJ spoons with it and sleeps with it, it's different. But like, I think it's a cool way to differentiate things, and like you can find sellers that do some of that. It's awesome, but don't expect if you're selling, don't expect that to your buyers to like to care that that's part of it as far as valuing. But it's not something they're going to turn around and sell, and you can't go on last sold eBay and stuff. And unless you're like Jim Lee and you're building a mystery box, they're not gonna build it. Nobody's gonna care.
But
Like,
what about toe socks, Taylor?
What's that?
Well, what about toe socks?
Toe socks are worth at least like an X-Men 12, like first Juggernaut.
Now, the real question, Taylor, is when is DJ Link?
You didn't those that Spider-Man booth ones.
Hang on. What? Sorry, I had like three things going on there. What?
I said, when is DJ Links getting the My Pet Monster art from you?
I don't know. I should do that for him. And sorry, what was the other comment?
Now you have to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, now I do. Yeah. I missed the other comment. Sorry. JC, was that you? Okay. Somebody else talked.
It's all good. I don't remember what it was.
No,
There's something about TSMB.
Yeah, there's something Spider-Man booth, but like they're a different beast. So, and there are two different kinds of mystery boxes too. Like, let's just be clear about this. There's the raffle box where you're just shooting for a grand prize, and then there's the not really grand prize box where there's like a run of boxes and you're expecting each one to hit value. There's two different ones. Most Instagram sellers and stuff are not doing grand prize boxes because they don't have the selection to do it or the following or anything else to pull it off. And they're not going to like give away like $1,000 book as a grand prize because they just don't have the clout to do it. And also it's a different demon. And like if you're buying from the big companies, that's what you're in for. Like that Spider-Man booth, Torpedo, Comic Vantage to some extent, even though they're not necessarily grand prize things, but like
trash.
Sure. Then you're like that Spider-Man booth. You're getting 5 variants and a shot at grand prize. That somebody else is going to win.
Chance.
Yeah, I've done a couple of different ways with GPs in mine with separate wheel spins or versus including it randomly in one of the boxes. But the GPs are never $1,000 book in addition to all the other stuff because I'm not at that price point. I'm not selling that volume, right? So.
Yeah, and Drac, I get what you're saying about that, like Squatchy's boxes, but I think his are an anomaly, and like, and he built his boxes around his art. I built my boxes with art as an addition. There's two different ways to go about it. And if you're clear with your buyers and they know that, then it's different. But like, I think for the most part, people are not buying artist boxes for the art. They're buying artist boxes for the comics still, which is mostly how the world works. So,
all right, let's get over to Eddie here, and we'll Eddie. So you do something different with yours too. You include a sheet of cards usually with your boxes, plus sometimes custom painted or built match boxes.
Oh, Hot Wheels normally, but I mean,
Yeah, Hot Wheels. So talk about that for a second. Then we're going to go to the round panel discussion with open questions.
so I did years of customizing Hot Wheels before I got back in the comic book, so I had a lot laying around. I figured it was a good little throw-in that people might like. That was about it. They don't really take that, and the cards are just extra things I throw in. As Taylor will say, his socks. But I mean, I do the kind of box where I mean, I have made money on boxes. I'm sorry to say I did, because when I first got into this, I really knew what I was doing, and I traded for a Miles Morales first print. I traded about $70 worth of books for it. I had it CGC'd, and then I went, holy crap, it just shot up to, in the end, it was $1,000 book. So I threw it in a $200 mystery box, did 10 boxes, and that's how I did it. But most of the time, I basically I like putting the GP in it. But every box, if it's a slab box, I'll start out with 10 slabs. And one of them, like 3 or 4, will be pretty high. So it's a $110 box, like the last one that went out. Every box, I'll start with the slab, give a price to every single thing. Make each box with like the first 4 books in the slab are over $100 or over the amount of the box. Then I'll go back through and find things I like to throw in, lenticulars for fun, and then just try to hit. If I find more keys I have laying around, something else, I'll throw them in. And of course, the major one gets the major book and some more fun stuff instead of the higher end stuff. And the other boxes get the $40 and $50 books in each one. Just kind of depends. That's how I normally do them. And I usually don't have a problem. I usually include a set of cards in every one, 9 cards, just depending what I have. I try to put higher end ones. Sometimes I'll do a signature series where there'll be a signed card, usually by Star Wars or by Star Wars characters or by a sports person, just for fun and that kind of thing. I mean, I kind of build so every single box hits the $110 plus whatever else, and goes higher from there. I mean, I don't like I do get box heroes every month. I do. And now they're doing exclusives now. They've got a Stray Dogs exclusive coming in the next box. I use it for the Mylar if I don't like the books. But a lot
I see how happy you are every time you open one.
Yeah.
But those are not that bad. Yeah, lately, sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss. I still enjoy doing them. I don't know. It is content in some ways.
I have a question for you buyers on the panel. All right, so when you guys are buying it, what do you guys think? Because Jimmy does a great thing where he does a preview on Instagram of some keys that are in each box. Plus, he does the grand prize drawing. Do you guys like the previews? Do you like it completely blind, or do you guys like And how do you guys like to get your grand prize? As a surprise in a box or as a draw?
Like I'll take that. I appreciate the previews. If you don't have stellar name recognition, then the previews is gonna help sell your box.
James is published now, DJ.
No, I'm not.
He's not saying that you don't have to do it. He's just saying, but it becomes even more important.
So Jimmy Jams is established, so maybe he doesn't need the preview videos and things like that. But if you don't have a stellar name or an established name or a reputation that you develop, the previews are always going to help you. As far as the grand prizes, I enjoy getting them in the box because selfishly, I open boxes on camera, and getting that box and seeing that initial reaction is just like, that's where it's at for me, like opening it and seeing it there as opposed to the draw. But then real quick, before we even go on, I just wanted to point out actual Dracula. So he had said, and Taylor mentioned it as well, people buy Squatchy's boxes for the art and all that stuff. This is where education about buying boxes comes in. It's paramount, right? So you have to know that. So I have bought a Squatchy box because I was chasing his art, specifically one of the covers. And I knew that. So if you're going into it blind and just expecting to, get a box full of value, and he's a published, I don't know what you call artist, but he's a CGC certified artist that charges $150 per cover. So that's covering your box right there. But my point is the education of it. Like, don't just go in and just buy a box. Do a little bit of research. Check it out. See what JC Comics is all about. See what Jimmy Jams is all about. Don't just like pull the trigger right away, right. Especially if it's like the first foray into mystery boxes.
Because all these sellers have their own flavor. Like
YouTube them. See what other people get in their YouTube's unboxings.
Yep.
Yeah, that's some of them.
Yep. Just don't watch DJ if he's throwing things around.
I mean, Matt Spy's right. Previews come in handy, not only for the selective buyer, right, but also depending upon your price point, depending upon your name. So for me, even if I'm buying something from somebody that I know, right? If the price point moves up higher in the higher range, I like to see previews so I have a chance at knowing at least what kind of hits might be in the box, right?
I mean, sometimes you might get a preview and none of that shit is in the box. If you know what I'm saying.
Never
Again,
happened.
I mean-
that note, I did see somebody get the 0.5 X-Men 12, and I did see the same guy got the first appearance of Electro.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, like for me, I'll say like I don't put out a ton of boxes. We've established that. I put a few out
in other ways.
but I think that it's I put out in other ways. That's right. I think that it's important
just for Taylor.
I have found for me, even though I have, people, there's enough people that kind of know who I am roughly at this point. I find that my mystery boxes will sell much better, especially at the price point I'm trying to do, if I do have previews, whether it be video previews or snapshot previews. I mean, because then people can be more confident who might be on the fence and decide, okay, hey, that kind of stuff looks like kind of stuff I would want, or a type of books that I feel comfortable doing that versus not doing it. I don't think it's important necessarily. If I was doing a $50 box, it's probably not the same, because I don't expect from a $50 box, the same amount of stuff. So
yeah, I think it depends upon where you're at in your collection too. Like when I was first collecting, I wanted everything, and so like I didn't need previews. But now that I'm getting more selective, I definitely want to see at least some. I don't want to know what every book is in a mystery box before I get it, or it's not a mystery box. It's just a box. But knowing what some of the books are, or what the theme of the box is, or what the flavor is, and what that seller is known for selling, makes a big difference. There's a seller named Jack B, who is like made a reputation selling silver and bronze age boxes. I don't need a preview anymore beyond that, because I know that's the era I'm looking for, and I know what he's done at this point. But when I'm first going on, like I told Rob, I'm like, I'm not gonna get one of your boxes because I'm not interested in any of the bigger hits. It's just not like when I'm collecting right. So
I mean, it's just like when I go looking for a restaurant, right? If I've never heard of John's Diner, but I want to know I'm going to want some sort of idea as to what I'm going to get to before I bring the family there for dinner.
Well, on another note, I was actually, after watching the person who just said, after watching Link's video of a box, I went out and bought one of the guy's boxes just for the hell of it. And, I mean, I got my money out of it, but, and of course that later on, we all know, fell flat on its face. But still, I kind of also go on, I go for if the bigger people get, that's the bad part. I shouldn't watch what the bigger people get, assuming, hell, I might get something like it. Because a lot of times, we're pretty much disappointed. And I'm sorry. But,
there's a level of FOMO in mystery boxes, too.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
Before they're gone.
There's some of that. And I think there's also like, if you I like to watch mystery boxes opened a lot more than I like to buy. So although I probably buy like 2 mystery boxes a month, maybe, but I'm never going to be the guy who's going to buy the $500 or $700 mystery box. That's just outside of my comfort range. But damn, when I watch, whether it's Alan May, DJ, Wink, whatever, open up a big box like that, those are exciting to watch. Now, if I open up as many boxes, if I open up as many boxes as DJ does, I'm sure, just the same win percentage dictates that he's going to hit more wins in quantity simply because he's trying more, right? It's just like playing the lotto or anything else. So, so sometimes you can start to feel like, oh, hey, I'm going to be I saw DJ open his box and it was great. Therefore, I know I can go buy it and I'm going to get a great hit. Well, maybe you're not. He just happened. That was the luck of the draw. There's always a luck of the draw in the whole thing.
It's the other people opening them in previews that suck me in. I mean,
yeah.
Also, JC hit on a point earlier that I think is a pretty good one. Like, if you're buying from Instagrammers, one of the things that I think is a good mark of a quality Instagram seller is whether or not they also buy. Because not 100%, it's not a 100% ratio for sure, but like there are Instagram sellers where they're just selling to make money, and that's fine. But if you know the community and like you get to know the folks, and like it ends up becoming basically throwing money back and forth at each other. But but it's also like if Instagrammers buy other boxes, I think they have a better sense of what people are looking for in boxes. It's like than some that are just like throwing together 777 boxes for $777,000. Whatever. That's a random number. I don't know where I came up with that. It's not related to anything. But, like, I think it's just, somebody that's bought a box, at least a one or two, will have a better idea of what other people are looking for than somebody that's just throwing it out there, So.
Ooh.
I
Nice, Jack. We'll be watching. Now, I want to throw a question over to JC
Canadian.
and Jimmy real quick for myself. So you guys both have drastically different brands, but when you're building boxes, becoming a brand is definitely a part of that journey. So with you, James,
No pun
your
intended.
previews have become part of your brand. People look for that when you're putting out a box, your theme and your brand. JC, your brand has always been about getting, like, I've won a couple really great books from you. I've done, some signed books. So signed books and some hard to get ratio exclusives have become part of your brand. Plus some stuff like my beloved first X-Men 130 first Dazzler book I got from JC. He hooked me up with that.
Sure.
And
Yes, sir.
I got it signed by Jim Shooter, by the way, JC. It's going out soon.
Nice.
To get graded.
Nice.
Talk about building a brand, and do you guys ever feel trapped by how you built it, or is it just becoming bigger and more fun as it goes?
Yeah, for me personally, it's definitely grown. And I think I started off, I've been making mystery boxes for 2.5 years now, and I've done them every month. I'm doing some IG, and now I've kind of moved them over to Whatnot. But I started off with the lower end boxes, $25, $40, and it's kind of slowly worked its way up. And now I'm able
Oh, he's froze
to
again.
do some bigger boxes. It's interesting to hear everybody say like previews, because I don't do any previews. I never do a preview or show the books ahead of time or anything like that. I just drop, a certain number at a certain price point, and it's just like a feeding frenzy. First come, first serve, and then they grab them and go. But I think, being consistent, doing them consistently, people kind of knowing what to expect and the type of books that you bring. A lot of my mystery boxes are not like collections I purchased. They're my own personal PC books. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to get, some pretty decent books in there.
What about
That's
you,
all I got.
James?
I don't think I trapped myself on the videos. Obviously not. Like I'm going to keep the videos no matter what. I like showing at least that top set of books, so you guys kind of know what you're getting, or the chance of certain things. I like doing that. I like doing the wrapping them and then numbering them and doing the raffle. The raffle, it kind of limited me, but I mean, I can always switch it. But I like the idea of the raffle because I just let the generator figure out who's going to be the grand prize winner. The whole reason that I'm able to do the mystery boxes and then do the blind bags and do the custom mystery boxes, even the comic draft, was to give options. And that way, every month, I'm not just dropping a mystery box. Because eventually, I'm going to run out of themes. That in itself, I'm not going to always have a grand prize for some character or whatever. So that actually kind of limits me. But everything else, as far as the box, I'm not going to be, the higher dollar boxes. I'm going to be that nice middle to entry level, especially for new collectors and whatnot, and those of us that still like to open up mystery boxes without breaking the bank. So
Right, but
and I will limit
ground you claim.
myself personally on that, just because I would love to open up a $150 box all the time, but I can only drop that coin every once in a while. So doing the 48, almost everybody can jump in on that.
Yeah, no. That's good.
All
So
right.
I had a question for JC and Jimmy. So the myth is that YouTubers like myself, like Wink, like Alan, that have like somewhat of a following or whatever, that sellers pack their boxes. As a seller, is that offensive on your end that they're calling out what you're doing for YouTubers? Because nobody has ever stacked a box for me, let me tell you, and I find it offensive. from a seller's perspective, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't think I get offended. I kind of take it as
I'd take it the same way.
But no, I mean, it's completely random. I box them up ahead of time. I mix them up. I lay them out, and then even when I write the numbers, I don't go 1, 2, 3. I go like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so like I mix it up so many times that even I myself don't know what's in each box. And again, I think you're just playing a numbers game. If you buy a lot of boxes, chances are you're gonna hit GP eventually. Just like if you don't ever play a raffle, you're never gonna win a raffle. And if you play a bunch of them, like chances are you're going to win a couple.
No, if you play if you play a raffle, Gary or Eric are going to win the raffle.
That'll be it. Yeah, you're not going to win anything.
That's the
No
truth.
points. Those two, and that's it. I mean, all of my boxes are already stacked up. I take a picture of them all there. Numbers on random. Everything's covered up. I don't even know what slabs. By the time I put them all together, and because the slabs are put in something I can't see what they are, I don't even know which slab goes with which. I see the top book. The top book's usually the fun book. It's a Gleason or it's a Lenticular or this time it's Astro City, just for fun, different something people might read. So I have no clue what's underneath it. I don't remember because it takes me 3-4 days to put them together.
Yeah. So touching on JC's thing, dude, if you're as random as possible to yourself, like you're not going to be pulling any kind of crap. And if you're getting offended, then you have to question what you're doing. So I'm never going to get offended because, hell, I don't even remember what I put in half these boxes. I got to wait till you guys actually open them to figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can attest to James not getting offended. I think what did you and I talk for like 2 hours one day about the box that first box I got from you?
Dude, what was it? The pit? For crying out loud.
When I threw it?
The pit. The freaking pit.
To Chubby's question, I do think
your boxes as your extra book one day.
Yeah. Wow. To Chubby's point, I do think the Grail Raffles are fairly easy to rig because at least especially when there's a long time between the raffle closing and then a video just popping up with the winner. That gives that seller enough time to run that raffle 4,000 times until they get the result. Of whoever they want to win it. And Eric, to his credit, as soon as that damn raffle closes, he's like, bam, 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 bam. There's not even enough time to run it twice. That video's uploaded and he's done. I trust Eric's raffles. I do not trust a lot of these other raffle sellers. And I may be alone in that, but like when there's hours in there where like that person has collected the money and then drops a winner thing later, that's enough time where you can't be sure. So.
Yeah, and I tend to steer clear of raffles. It's just hilarious because one of the few that I entered was Eric's and I wind up winning it. So thank you for rigging it for me, Eric.
I'm also a fan of Eric's raffles. I tend to do well with them.
Yeah. Gary wins them all. So
I'm with everybody else was there saying too. As far as once you put the boxes together and you do all this stuff, half the time you don't know. And if you have them sealed and you're shaking pictures of the boxes and what they are, unless you're going through the hassle of knowing those inventories and reboxing stuff after somebody has selected a number to get them the box that has the number that you want or something. I mean, that's just it's a ridiculous notion. I mean, and then for like this last one, I do, my GP, I prefer to do them as a draw after instead of including the box. I've done it both ways. And the only reason I do that is because when I'm doing my bigger boxes, oftentimes, I don't sell out in 15 minutes. This last round of boxes, I had 2 boxes left for a couple days, but I want to ship out the boxes right away. I want people to get their books right away. So if I have my GP in reserve as a wheel spin or something, then once I have them all sold, I can then spin that right away. But then to make sure I do it, I went live to record it, right? You record and do your wheel spin live for your stuff. There's no, I recorded it, uploaded it later, and got the chance to rig it to who I wanted to. It was live for everyone to see.
I know. I'm not saying
I know you're not accusing me of anything.
He's accusing you. He's accusing you because
other than the fact that you said it was rigged right away, but you say everything's rigged. So I don't take offense to it, right?
It's all rigged.
I'm saying that there's ways. I'm saying that there's ways to do it where you can make sure you're on the up and up, and people can know that things are legit. I mean, like going back to a thing that I had mentioned in the Wink video,
everything that we do, buy or sell or whatever, it's all about trust and putting your trust in another person. And that's what it comes down to, having developing a relationship, whether through Instagram, whatever the case may be, and putting
DJ rubbing my nose.
your trust. What? You about to rap battle? That's what we do before.
No,
rap battle.
no. I was saying that you build a relationship, like you, and then you can rub your nose, just like you did to your pet monster. You were rubbing that thing's nose like it was
I was stroking his phallic nose. Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And then he sneezed at the end. Yeah, so it's definitely it's all about trust.
At the end of being rubbed. Okay, let's just go with that. Don't even go there. His pet monster sneezed at the end of being rubbed.
Oh shit, Eddie's here.
Yeah.
Now, Jimmy, Small Town, you've been kind of quiet, but as a buyer yourself, what are your preferences when you're looking at buying boxes? As far as like prizes in the box or prize spins after, what is it that the Don's looking for?
Really nothing in particular. You know, I will sometimes do the raffle ticket. I like the previews. Like I just bought one of Jimmy's boxes. I love his previews. And I've always liked his boxes. But it really doesn't matter to me. I don't really have a preference, you know, per se. I generally buy the boxes for content most of the time. And now, you know, I've kind of switched what I'm doing on Mystery Box Monday, like the box that I bought from Jimmy, I'll give away. And, you know, so right now I'm trying to do those in, you know, that lower price point. But if I'm buying a bigger box, it's like everybody said, I'm looking for value, at least hit my value. And then if I know I'm buying a raffle ticket box, I know I'm buying a raffle ticket box, and I don't have a whole lot of expectations. But I did want to ask Jimmy and JC and Eddie, you know, the people who are building boxes on the regular, like, what do you use, you know, to price your books? I mean, or like I started using cover price, you know, some because I could take the lower of the last sold and then the average. And I thought that might be a pretty safe way to do it. But what do you guys do? As far as when you're pricing out your books?
All right, so I don't
you're first.
I don't use cover price. I don't use Go Collect or anything like that, mainly because they're a little behind. Man, I have like eBay on speed dial. I am literally on that every single day at work, when I'm on my free time, when I'm making the boxes. Like, I need to know the price. I'm going to go the last 3 sold. I'm going to go the final sold. If I can't find it, I'm going to try to go on a lower price point compared to the listing prices. If I see a listing price of like continuously $40, I'm not going to price it at $40 until I see it sold. I want it to be lower than that. You have to be modest in your pricing. If you price too high, you're going to get torn apart. Like, your box is it's not going to make the value. I have done every type of formula there is. Right now, the new one that I came up with, I've got a little sheet that basically tells what mathematically I need to hit based off the first book. And because I want every box to have beyond value. So yeah, I'm going to go off the last price. You'll also notice that I don't hit, like, you know, the FOMO books that are popping up. Like, I'll have them, but they're going to base off of prices either prior to or halfway between the FOMO and then the original price. Because I don't think that it should be based off of, oh shoot, this book hit $40. Like, that's what it's always going to be. No, because guess what's going to happen in 3 weeks? It's going to be $5, $10. Like, so it's hard to play. But always go on the modest side, and you'll be above value. Hell,
averages and trending.
It's probably one of the watchers right now. Back when I had one of the blind bags, whoever got the Hercules blind bag, you got a $40 book in there because I didn't know what it was. On top of like $25 worth of books. So whoever got that, yeah, by all means, you scored on that one. I even had another one I looked up. I gave it up in a box. It's worth like $80 now consistently. And I was like, I'd price that at $2.
Is that the origin of
that's the nature of the beast.
Is that the origin of Amadeus Cho?
No, but I am stockpiling those.
Yeah. All right.
JC?
All right. Oh yeah, and for me, kind of the way I've always done it, and what I found kind of works for me is I like to separate. Like I'll get like a short box, for example, and separate it into like a pricing tier. So like, if it's a little bit more than $5, it'll go in the $5 section. If it's a little bit more than $10, it'll go to the $10 section. Then there's like a 15, 20, 25, 50, 100. And then when I build the box, like if it's a $50 box, I'll grab, two 20s, two 10s, two 5s. And then as soon as I feel like I've gotten to a good place, then I'll pull out two more random books and add it in there just to cover myself on all ends. And that's something that's always kind of worked for me, because if prices do fluctuate, then you're covered because you're way overvalued. But in terms of where I get my pricing from, I typically do last sold on eBay. But then I also, like Jimmy said, I take things to an account like FOMO and things like that. A book might just be temporarily hot. If you buy and sell enough books, you kind of know off the top of your head what the values of certain books are. So you can kind of go by that. When an X-Men 4 First Omega Red, is like $40 right now. At a time 2 years ago, it was 20, 25. So you kind of just follow those trends whenever you're buying a lot of books. And if I see a video from DJ and he opens a box and somebody wrote, $75 on an X-Men 4, I don't have to look it up. I know it's overvalued, So a lot of it is just experience, just buying, selling, and just learning with time what these values are.
Well, and that's a tough thing too. Like, I think a lot of people that buy boxes, like the everyday people, not the YouTubers, because the YouTubers that are doing it for content, they already know values. But there's a lot of people who buy boxes because they get caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they realize the amount of hours that all you guys put into trying to sort these things to build a box. And I don't think they realize the time and the effort and the pricing that goes into it for stuff like that. Like, you guys aren't throwing together a 15-box run in 20 minutes. You guys are
Right.
over prices.
It takes like a week.
Yeah, right. Like a week at least. Yeah.
No,
And then DJ and all the buddies open up this horrible box, and then just as you were about to release yours, and you have to go back and double check your double checks to make sure because now you feel you have to single-handedly redeem.
Last sold $1.87. Yeah.
I think DJ had something personal against your particular boxes, Rob. It's a mustache envy.
No, DJ has purchased my boxes multiple times, and he's always come out ahead on numbers. There's been a box that he got that the content inside wasn't exactly his favorite, and we even had. I remember looking at one of them one time. He pulled it out, and the last sold happened to be very different than the pricing of last sold before it when I had priced it out. But that's the game when you're doing it. It's
definitely the game. And one of the other things that what I do with my videos, so I filmed the video. I've never looked at up until that journey box. I've never looked at values during filming. I film, my reactions are based off if the books are cool or not, if this fits my PC, if this is whack, whatever. This is just my opinion on the books. It's never about the value. So when I say, hey, let's hit that total value, I don't even know what the total value is at that point, because that all gets done during the editing. But to JC's point, the education and doing it for a while, you kind of get used to what values are. So that's why when in that particular box, when I saw this $5 book out of $45 price tag, I was just like,
hell no.
In a row, I was just like, I'm gonna have to stop this and take a look at those values. But all my videos are based just on the coolness of the books. That's what you're getting my reactions to, the coolness of the books,
right?
And not the value.
And
go ahead, Rob.
So to that end, I was like, I want to go back to Digger's question. Have you ever done, not uploaded a box that you didn't like? Because I know that for myself, I've uploaded almost all the boxes I've opened. However, I did have at least one that I know of that I didn't upload because when I went back and looked at it, the value in the box was fine, but my reactions were to what was inside the boxes or dog shit. I looked like somebody just gave me a box of dog shit because it wasn't anything that I cared about. But the values and stuff were all plenty there. So I just never uploaded it because I couldn't go back and I didn't want to shoot the video and pretend to be excited. How about any rest you guys?
If
I've
I wouldn't
never
have any
done
content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to open up
I'm
everything.
not on YouTube, like
I don't like it. I don't like it.
YouTube, but on Instagram, like I usually post up my boxes that I bought from the community. I've had a lot that I just don't post. I just don't feel like I'm one of those buyers that, you know, as sellers know. I'm one of those buyers that won't say anything, like won't post up the video if it sucks.
Are you from Minnesota, you passive aggressive bastard?
No, I didn't. Okay, so as a builder,
You're too nice.
I know sometimes, like, you know, people screw up. Shoot, DJ
Yeah.
got a box for me that was like a Scooby Doo, and he like,
It still haunts me.
oh, dude, come on, man. But you know, we screw up, you know, so I'm not gonna tear into it. But if it's a consistent thing, yeah, then I'm gonna have a word. But you know, there's times where you might miss the mark because of pricing, whatever. And to me, I don't really go off a box on pricing. I go off of like, is this something I would like? You know, are these books that I'll actually care about? Mainly because I'm always open to like new stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to be taken. You know, I paid $40 for a box and I got $15 worth of books. That's not cool. So in that case, I'm going to reach out. But I'm not going to post a video if I just feel that it's not going to hit its mark. It's not something that, you know, I want everybody to be like, oh, I'm going to buy from them. But I will definitely support the other sellers and the people that have supported me. And if they have an awesome box, dude, I'm going to blast that on Instagram like no other.
See, as a buyer too, and Rob, Jimmy, DJ, and Eddie, and and Taylor can speak to this better than I can because they buy a lot more expensive boxes than I buy. But if I buy a box and I can see that it's the value, but it's full of characters I don't care about, I'm trying to put on a show and at least look like I enjoy the box because I'm not holding that against the seller. The seller put together a good box. It's of value. It's not their fault if it happens to be a couple. Like if I get a mostly DC box,
Well, that's
I'm
the
going to be
mystery box.
frowning and crying in my soup,
Right.
right? Because
Yeah.
I'm not a big DC reader.
Yeah.
But for you guys that are buying them on a bigger scale too, like DJ, I know you're not a Venom guy like me, but I saw you bought a Venom
Star
box,
Wars guy.
right? But when you get something and it doesn't necessarily land for you guys book-wise for what you collect, but you know the value's there, how do you guys try to approach that while you're shooting the videos?
Oh, for me, you see it. I'm open and honest. I'll be like, yeah, this is not for me. I'll separate now my hits and my misses. I'm just being honest. I don't think it's on a seller of a box to give me exactly what I want. Like I'm paying $100 for a box. I just want $100 to
get a tailored box.
Yeah, unless it's a tailored box, unless it's curated for you.
I've done many of those.
Yeah, and my collection is super narrow in scope, where it's just like I'm Thanos, cosmic stuff, Hulk. But I would never say, "Oh, this box is trash" because I don't like any of these books in it. I just expect I paid $100. I want $100 in comics. It'll be nice to have $100 in comics that I like, but it's never on the seller to give me books that I love. That'll be nice. That's a plus to it.
I do. That's where the previews come back into play, where you at least know the general idea of what the box's themes or might be or something. But yeah, you can't. Like,
And that's what
you're never gonna like get everything you want out of a mystery box. Like there's not like I don't think there's ever even the best box I've ever opened. There's never been a single box I've opened where like every book is like keeping all these. They're all amazing.
No, I did. Well, that was a curated one. I can't say that. So yeah, one I did. I've only ever gotten one. I never know if I do bad or good boxes, but it's so damn fucking stressful. I mean, this last one, this last set. I mean, it took 2 days to sell out, which is fine. But Wink bought one. I'm like, No, don't. I don't want to even deal with that crowd. I'm
Meanwhile,
afraid.
behind the scenes, he's bitched for months that Wink has never bought one.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Well,
Oh,
so
he
how
said
do
he
you get
asked me about it, but he constantly misses it. He says, "Which is fine. I don't care."
Eddie, you're
Like, stressful.
you're just like a
DJ
nervous
gets money,
grandma.
it's stressful as all hell.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel. Kind of
I stress over making those boxes so bad that I wonder, is it good? Is it good? Finally today, like my last boxes have been out there for over a week. I know they've all arrived. Finally, I found out who got the bigger one of the bunch. He's somewhere in the chat, but still, I'm like, okay, it
Who'd
landed.
you rig it for,
Somebody
Eddie?
actually
Who
got
was it?
Yeah.
Never could figure it out. He got the.
Jason, that rigged that son of a bitch.
Oh, so I didn't win the grand prize. I'm not uploading my video.
No, you got the $65 box. You got the $65 box, right? You didn't get the 110.
That's
Did
why.
his
That's
buddy,
why
the Don, contact you and force your hand?
the Dawn worked it out.
The 65, one of the 65. Wasn't that? Is that the one? I don't remember what the big book was in there. It's been a while. But
The
I
reason
mean, one
I
guy
asked that
did.
question is so
What?
they know that not to always expect all books that you like, the people who are buying them, because I think they put an unfair expectation on sellers sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your point, Eddie.
Well, the major complaint that I did get was from a guy out of the country, but he spoke English fine, no big deal. He went ahead and,
Good for him.
how do I rig anything? All of them were sold already. There, 8 of them had already shipped by the time he got one. So I mean, what am I going to rig? It's the same. It just went out the same day. But he basically what the guy had said was I had only shown off like 3 pages of previews, and he complained that a lot of the books he got weren't on the previews because he got a few that made up the value, and the rest were. I don't always show off every book on the previews.
Yeah,
And
it's a
big
mystery
complaint was-
box. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's-
his big
it's a
complaint was
mystery no matter
he didn't get what was on the previews.
the key word is box in his
Yeah.
country.
I think there's I fully understand the nervousness waiting to see how they're perceived sometimes because again I put myself personally into my boxes, so I was like, this week is super stressful for me, right? Because I'm going to sit there on the show with as 5 other people are unboxing my last box simultaneously.
Oh, man,
Live. I mean, it's going to be interesting scenario, but
Welcome to the nerve-wracking nature of my new show.
exactly. Except that it's gonna be it's 5 on none because I'm
it's almost maybe it's not worse, but it's like a curated box. So like I'm really nervous if the.
I don't.
One of you Taylor's gonna like what I sent them.
But-
that was a fun one to make, but still, it's like I think I'm on second guessing myself.
But
Finding
the-
spaces.
I mean,
the main
at some
thing,
point
I
you just
think,
got to
with-
shrug and go on with life. But
The main thing with any of these I think is, and DJ can attest to this, because even as much as everybody keeps coming back or wants to keep going to the freshest open wound in the community, right? This $777 box. The reality is, though, what is the first thing that you did?
DJ.
It was you didn't sit there. Is you reached out to the guy, and you said, hey, you know what? You didn't be cruel or anything else about it. Just reached out to the guy, be professional. You know what? Hey, I don't think that this was what it was promised to me. And then
I would have thrown that shit over my shoulder if you.
Yeah, no, I was super nice to Journey, and still, like, he was a really nice guy, and I got vilified for being nice to the guy. So it's
right, but I mean, you reached out and he got your stuff, and it's whether or not it's the ideal in the situation or anything. You got some stuff back and you're good to go. I think it's important that whether it's somebody buys a box from somebody who does it on a regular basis, like Jimmy or JC, or if you do something from somebody who does it infrequently, like myself or Old Man Collectibles or Jimmy here, Small Town Collectibles, since there's too many Jimmys going on the channel. I think every single one of us.
Too many Jimmys. Whoa.
Never heard of such a thing. Would be that if you did get a box from us, or at least I know I'd want it. If you get a box from me and you don't think that it's right, reach out. We'd love to get a chance to make sure, either understand what it is that we potentially did wrong and get that opportunity to fix it, because this whole business, or whether it's a business or whether it's a side hustle or whether it's just an occasional thing, is predicated, as we've talked about several times here, on trust. And if I mess up, the only way I can try to salvage that is to make it right. And I'm going to want to make it right. It's that way in the future. the name that goes along with, when somebody thinks of my name and they heard somebody, oh, hey, I heard he made it right. He's going to take care of the job. He's going to take care of you. When he says he's going to guarantee the box is going to hit value or be above value or whatever it is, you can bank on that. And if it's not, he's going to fix it.
Well, Rob, what you're saying, so every one of us on this panel here, we actually give a crap.
Yeah.
Like we actually care about what we're crafting. So,
and that's why you guys are on the show.
Yeah.
Shit, is that our problem?
Gary, you should have got.
If there's a problem if we screw up at any point, like we want to fix it, right? We want to make it better. So yeah, and Rob, yeah, you're going to be sweating. You're going to be on the hot seat there because I know that feeling. Like every time I send out the round of boxes, I'm just sitting there for roughly about 4 to 7 days. Like,
yep.
What's everybody's reaction? Like, hey,
and is that every round, James?
What?
And that's every round, right? You got to go through every round.
I don't care what's going on. Hell, even the blind bags, I'm like, did you like it? Like, I need to know, like, because I actually care what you guys get. Like, it was growing pains at the beginning, but now it's like I think I perfected pretty well. So I'm like, I just want to know that you were happy, and if it's a box of stuff like DJ said, like it's not something you collect, but at least does it hit value, like you stress on those things. So yeah, like Rob's going to be on the hot seat. I know how Eddie's feeling. I'm going to be feeling that. Like I'm shipping everything out tomorrow from the Star Wars box, and I'm going to be sitting there for a week waiting for everybody's reactions. So
it's mainly DJ and Alan because they post the money exactly where it. So say a week after we do it, one of the books hits like 50% of what it was, which is random. You've had things used to go 40, all of a sudden it goes 20. You're like, God damn it!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I just
it happens all the time.
Yeah, that's why I try to. Lately, I've been slacking, but I try to post a video as soon as I get the box so that the values could be there. But like with Eddie's box, like it's going on like a month, right? That I have yours.
You have two $65 boxes.
You too, JC. That box, I have to open them. Like I just have literally piles of boxes.
I'm assuming the one that Wink bought probably going to take about 3 months to get to. He's got so much crap laying around. I mean, not worried about it. Alan at least has the $65 box. I haven't seen that one open.
Just give me give it to Eric. And can I say I don't know if it's just me, but I have this kind of feeling or idea that if a box is over $150, it should come with a Grail, if not a slab, every single time.
Like over 100 should be. I usually think over 100 should be
at least. I think it needs to
have a big hit.
Yeah, it should have something, whether it's slab, or even good, solid big hit raw or multiple raw books at high, not the $5 books type things. Because I know I did a box that I totally screwed it up like that, where it was just loaded with like 20 something freaking raw books and
nickel and dime that 150.
Yeah, it I mean it was I thought they were cool, but a lot of other people didn't necessarily, and it was one of the less stellar things, and it was like
I mean, the $110 box, one of the books last sold for $250, and then 3 of the other books were in about the $100 range, and then every other slab was kind of in between fun ones that are $50, $60 slabs, but then you had 10 raw books on it, and one's $40 raw books sitting there.
Yeah, and it's easier to get the last sold, like from a production perspective. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing the research. So I do the last sold. I look back just to make sure it's like not a big fluctuation, but I want to spend all my time into like the editing piece of it. And maybe I don't spend as much time as going into getting like the true average, or you know what I mean? So I'm just doing like last solds.
DJ, you'd be sitting there for weeks to make a video if you went through every price. It is not easy.
And some books are easier than others. There's some books where you can go and look, and you search it into last sold, and hey, there's 12 that pop up all from last month, and it's easy to get an idea where it's at.
Crap! No, I'm just kidding.
Did Taylor use the bathroom? Where did he leave? Are you alive there?
Then there's other books that you're sitting there, you looking, and you just can't find a last soul to
Can't miss
save
the
your
hat.
life. And it's like,
Is he off-screen masturbating again?
I am, yes.
I don't know. The cap does look like a reservoir.
Hate
up
when they're
there.
having-
It's kind of white and weird looking as it is.
What do you guys think? Like Tom boxes, price one.
I never had a problem with the value of a Comic Con box. You know,
It's all his are just the variants. I don't even
At this
think about ever getting anything
point,
good.
at this point, it's not even a mystery box because he puts on the card exactly what you're going to get in there. You're going to get, his 2 exclusives. You're going to get a print, a kid's book, and you're going to get like 2 junk fillers.
Yeah, and the rest of
Yeah,
it, you got about a
gotta hit
2%
it on
chance
the
of getting
point
anything
there.
good.
yeah,
I have never seen anybody pull anything good. I mean,
I
period.
pulled
No, dude,
$200
I
Turtles
did.
book out of one.
You're counting on that. You're getting it because you like that exclusive that month.
Yeah, that's why I'm buying.
Or you
Yeah.
think you can flip the exclusive that month. Those are the 2 reasons to get his boxes.
yeah, it really is.
That was the original reason I joined.
Switch is
but
disagreeing about the slab.
they've
Yeah,
been
I mean
putting
the
the crap.
slab versus
Yeah.
raw thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I think at $100 and up, a box should have a banger.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Whether it be a slab or
Yeah.
or a high end raw book or multiple better. If I give you
That's
if I
the
give you
terminology I use because I'm
2 or
old.
3 $40 books in there or something, and it's like,
Hell, I remember the last box Taylor
all
got
the
for
other
me.
stuff.
It was like twice the value, and by God, when I put it together, I don't think that I had that at like $250 or $260.
Yeah, thanks for rigging that, Eddie. I appreciate it.
I don't even remember what book you got out of that, but all of a sudden that
Ultimate
went to
Fallout
like
4
$400.
second print went crazy.
Oh yeah, it dove up.
But
Yeah, but back to the point about the
Comic
slab
Con.
versus the banger. Like I
Okay.
remember, I think I got. I'm sorry for speaking over you, but I'm going to continue.
We're used to it.
I understand.
No, so I think I had gotten a maybe a $250 box or a $300 box from Hot Stuff Collectibles. At the time, it was back issue comics, and it was all raw books, but it was some banger ass. Like the cheapest raw book was like $60. So there weren't any slabs, but it was like, and not even like old Silver Age stuff. It was a lot of like 1 in 500s, like a lot of stuff like that. So I was happy with that because it hit value.
Yeah.
So a slab
Right,
is not
'cause there's some
necessarily my
crap-ass
thing.
slabs out there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't want like like a Venom
Yeah.
26 in a
Yeah.
92. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think
9.6.
slabs are just a easy way sometimes to hit some of the value, but it's
Yeah.
not the only way to hit value, and it just
Yeah.
depends on what you're after.
I
absolutely.
agree with what Switch just said there because that raw book too has a chance to grow as well. Than some book that they just took off the shelf and slabbed, and they spent 18 of their dollars slabbing it, but
Yeah, so
it
it
doesn't really hold any value.
Well, I think some buyers have the idea that slabs are worth more too. So it's an easy
they're
way.
shiny and nice to look at, and that's what people
Well,
like.
yeah, but so especially if you're new to collecting, it's an easy way to like add perceived value to boxes or whatever.
Yeah,
even if it's
exactly.
not,
However, don't send DJ a PGX slab.
oh no, frisbee. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I got
I
a
did
PG
have-
slab out of the box from you, Rob.
Yeah, it was like was that a 9? No, it was either a
came from
10
Rob.
or a 9 though.
I think it was a 9.9.
I got a PGX from Rob, and
Now it's like a
worth
4.0.
about $40.
Yeah, I don't do PGX slabs in my boxes anymore because I was tired of hearing shit from people. That's
Yeah.
why the last time I did, they were only 9.9s or 10.0s, and I told everybody, look, there's gonna be half the slabs are CGC, the other half are PGX. But if you get a PGX, it's gonna be a 9.9 or a 10.0.
So
I
this
got
is what
a
these
question
people
I've been
are.
wanting to
yes.
ask.
I have one PGX. That was Rob.
With quantity over quality of books, and I know this is a big thing with YouTubers. And for myself, I don't want to open a box. Say I bought $100 box. I don't want to open a $100 box with $52 books.
Yeah.
Or just say 20 books and one of them's worth 20 and all the rest are just low quality, low sales books, right? We've all hit those boxes. I much rather if I bought a $100 box, I much rather have 4 or 5 books in it that all have value and a chance to increase in value. Now, as sellers, this is a tough road for you guys to travel because people in general, especially if they're not collectors like us who just want 4 or 5 really good books, you guys are stuck with people have a perceived value in a number of books, plus they want a banger in there. How do you guys balance that as sellers trying to find that sweet spot in the middle. Not a big stack of books with no value, but enough where someone's happy with the feel of the books they get, plus the value in the books.
Someone's got to go first.
Jimmy?
Go ahead.
It's mixed. You get some high, you get some low, and some in between.
For me, it's always been about quality over quantity. I prefer, like, if it's, and it's same thing when I see unboxing videos. Like, if, let's say, DJ buys a box, if he gets a huge stack, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be all filler, Whereas if he gets like 5 books, I'm like, oh shit, these are going to be 5 really good books. So, and then again, there's kind of like that in between with some of like the middle pricing books. But yeah, for me, less is more. And you want to get more bang for your buck with those books that come raw, that you could, if you want to, submit to CGC yourself and then add some more value that way as well. Or you hope, to see them like in a future show or movie or something like that, to where they can grow a little bit as well. But you want to at least start off with a good baseline value. And for me, again, it's more quality than quantity.
Yeah, we've seen that with DJ. He gets all these stacks of books, tears them apart, but then he pulls out an ASM 41 at the end, and it's all good.
Yeah,
you man. No, so even with the stacks. So now I'm just like, oh, this is heavy. This is a bad sign.
Not good. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, you don't want all those books.
I base it straight on if it's going to be a slab box, 1 or 2 slabs, and like 8 to 10 books. If it's going to be $100, $110 box, it's going to be 1 slab and 10 books, and I base it from, what the slab is, and then go from there. Put the bigger books with the bigger raw books with the low end slabs, and then work my way down till I hit, over $120, $130, $140. And at the very end, I'll put in a fun book I like or some fun junk I like. As Taylor likes his socks. Have you worn them yet?
They're now no longer in my possession. I'll put it that way.
No, but Super Mole Retro, he has a good point, and this goes back to what we were talking about before. Like, you're not going to be happy with every single thing in a mystery box. That's the whole point of a mystery box. So for you to complain because, like, if I were to complain because I never got a Thanos book out of a box, these people will get sick of me. That's just part of the game. Like, it's just part of the game. So
and that's where value circles back into play.
Yeah.
If it's a good value, they don't care what's in it because they know they can sell it and make some of that money back. And so it's, not necessarily a loss. But if you give them terrible value and terrible books, then you're just handing out L's in boxes.
And I don't even mind like 1 or 2 filler books in a box. I get it because you got to unload some of your garbage somewhere. But like, but I think at least the majority of the books should be cool and have a couple that are big hits. If above like a $50 price point. Like,
and filler's not always bad, because we always go buy dollar books at our LCSs to fill runs. I'm sure DJ's bought dollar Hulk books to fill his runs. We all have to fill parts of our runs with cheaper books.
And filler to one person is gold to another. Right?
Yes.
I mean, because there are books that Gary's going to treasure that, to me, they're throw them in the freebie box and give away on Slab Hub.
I light them on fire.
I'm working on building a box for Rob this week, and it's going to be 40,000 punchline variants.
Yeah, all the same issue too.
Yeah, well,
the
she only has one.
Special number 1. There was only like 75 variant covers. I probably have 70 of them. So
let's go to the other monster we haven't talked about yet. I know we're going to the hour-and-a-half mark. We'll start wrapping up soon. But have any of you guys started selling mystery boxes on Whatnot, and what's your perception of buying them on Whatnot?
Whatnot is pretty much with the new tax things. It pretty much killed it for me. So Whatnot, eBay, and those are over. I can't do them anymore. So
Bill,
not gonna happen.
I bought a really shitty one on there. So
there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of bad ones on Whatnot.
But it was a raffle ticket. It was a company, so.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be a good marketplace for mystery boxes moving forward? Because I've bought some bad ones off Instagram before too, off a live stream.
I'll go on Amazon or eBay and buy a few on theirs just for fun.
I think it's going to be a mixture, like everything else. Like,
well, I was going to say, I think the biggest problem on Whatnot is there's no social aspect to it. So if I get a shitty box from somebody on Whatnot, there's nobody I can turn to or complain to. There's not a community I can show and be like, oh my God, look what I got.
I think
Whereas,
you can rate them, I guess, right? I mean,
you can rate them, and
it. I mean,
that'll affect things a lot. But
I got to rate.
I know
Taylor
everyone's
in a
hating
minute.
on whatnot, but I don't think it's perfect, but I do think as far from a selling perspective, it's a good way to unload books. And from a buying perspective, it's like channel surfing. Like I've spent hours on there just surfing back and forth looking to see what people have, and you can find some gems on there. So.
It's now all the big sellers. Last night, Gary was on there selling, I mean, crap condition 2.5 and 3.0 X-Men books.
Well,
that I picked up for $30-$40. He's getting $125.
Okay.
I'm like, holy shit!
People overpay on there like crazy.
Don't go to those shows.
Again,
go to the shows with nobody watching.
Oh yeah, I
Find
do.
the
That's
first-time sellers.
He said X-Men, so I figured I'd look because I'm still about 20 books away from finishing 1 to 100. So I'm trying to fill those in.
Yeah,
and he had 1 or 2 I needed.
To get back on topic, Gary, I would say that for me, anyways, I'm not going to buy a mystery box on Whatnot. Whatnot is, if I'm going to go there, that's a place I'm going for the auction on books I know. I'm not going to play auction games with a mystery box. I'm sorry. That's not for me personally.
If they
I've
do
seen
buy it
some
now,
there
right?
where they open them live, after you purchase them. And so after a few of those, and you get a decent idea of what might be in them, I'd be down.
I just don't want
so
them to
that's what
open
I
them
did.
live.
I'm sorry. I bought one the other day. So it started out, they tell you what the floor of the ceiling is. I overbid because I have a relationship with the person, and I was just like, whatever. I know you, whatever, boom. So I know I overbid, and I wound up hitting like something cool. He opened it live on the thing, but it was more so in that instance, testing it out because I never did that with a floor and a ceiling, but it was also like helping out a friend. So.
Yeah, that actually brings up a really good point for people who are looking to sell mystery boxes. I think having a floor, a ceiling, and an average is really good for first-time mystery box sellers. It's a nice way to kind of cover you on all sides. People kind of have a good idea of what to expect, what the value is on average, and what the possibility at worst it can be, and at best. For a long time, Whatnot was like the Wild West with mystery boxes, and they started to implement rules like that where you had to show them on the live. You couldn't take them off camera. You had to have a ceiling and a floor so people know exactly what they're paying for. And so, there's some growing pains on Whatnot, but they're learning slowly but surely. Yeah, I think first-time sellers are good people to target. I don't know if that's a good word to use, but they're trying to make a good first impression. They're trying to load it up, make them look good. So, look for those first-time sellers on there. You might get lucky.
I like that high-low average kind of thing. That's a really good.
But it's who sets those numbers? The sellers?
Yeah, the sellers.
I mean, it's all subjective, anyways. Like every value. So, like it's you still have to trust the seller. It comes down to that too, like everything else.
All right. So before we start wrapping this up, is there anyone out there that has any other questions for the group in here? Are you guys pretty satisfied with what you said, or is there anything you're itching to get out?
I thought they were really hard on Wink DJ and Taylor's video. It was crazy to me because they didn't, as a seller, they didn't say anything, that I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous. I would never want to sell them a mystery box. A lot of their opinions were spot on. So I thought it was just kind of odd that some people thought that they were like outrageous for their mystery box takes.
There's always controversy on the internet.
I've never seen such a tame group of outrageous people.
Yeah, I was dumbfounded as well by the backlash that we received. Like, we didn't say anything. I know sound bites were taken out of context, the rationale, because I literally said something followed up by rationale.
Yeah,
it literally made no sense to me. But haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to feel this?
Yeah, it's a Hector's thing. I assume that he's talking about getting into it to sell mystery boxes as opposed to getting in it to buy them. And if that's the case, the main thing is you do your education, learn.
You
I'm okay with all of that. You guys got blocked as well.
Thanks, Eric.
I didn't get blocked. I can confirm I didn't get blocked.
I mean, I talked to Wink after the other video went up, and he was almost floored and upset that You know,
Nah, come on, man. That's his business. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
I know.
I don't care if I was blocked. I stick by everything I said on Wig's video.
I
And
think
you
it was
should go
great.
watch
I
it.
just can't
I
believe
think it's
people went
worth
nuts
watching.
on it. I mean,
Yeah. What's funny is Taylor and I disagreed on something, and they both was like, "I disagree with you," and I was like,
Yeah,
"Well,
like-
we disagreed." Like what? Whatever.
No,
So
but,
Hector,
go ahead, Rob.
as I was saying, Hector, my suggestion would be is to talk to, get the people, know a couple people who are selling and reach out to them and see if they're willing to let you pick their brain and let you learn from some of their past mistakes, because everybody's going to make mistakes throughout it. And if you can benefit from somebody else having the mistakes that they made and they're willing to work, talk to you, or if you got some trusted friends, either people that you're friends with on Instagram, whether they're sellers or even buyers, and you just like this, and you find out about, hey, what are you looking for, everything else, and then don't skimp on the time to do the research. And just know that, hey, it's going to take, you don't throw them together overnight, and it's going to take some time, and it's going to be nerve-wracking the whole way through it. But if you try to do right and build something that you would think that you would like to get as well, you're probably going to do okay.
Yeah, take your
Hector,
time with the pricing of it.
Yeah,
eBay last
Hector-
sold is kind of the standard, so
hit up JC, myself. Like we were willing to talk your ear off about mystery boxes. Like if you actually care, like they're going to be worthwhile. So
And the prizes they give you on Instagram, guys, is great. I won one of Jimmy's grand prizes, and I got a full
did
run
you?
of Savage
Rick.
She-Hulk.
You got a full run of Savage She-Hulk too?
Yeah. So,
yeah, it was a full run of She-Hulk minus the last issue.
But I bought that
Mine was the other way
instantly as
around.
soon as I
Mine
won
was
it.
issues. They're starting with issue 2 on.
Oh,
That
no,
was okay
you
because
can
I
have
already
1
had
through
one.
24.
Oh, well, I already had issue 1, so picking up 2 through 25 was fine.
And in
But
case
Jimmy
you
also
asked
gives out shit
about-
for last place, so that's good. That's what I usually get.
yeah.
I like doing the last place.
I've gotten
'cause
last
it's
place a couple of times with Jimmy.
I just
Last
miss out
place
on
is
Jimmy's.
great.
He sell out too fast.
And that's actually a good point that Jimmy brings up, is that, even however long you spend in the mystery box game, you never stop learning. Me and Jimmy, literally, we talk like every other week, and we're like comparing notes, and we still talk about mystery boxes and what we're going to do and ideas we have. So it's like you're always growing, you're always learning. You're never going to just, do it once and have it mastered and, just hit the ground running.
Yeah, you can't master it in one shot. You gotta research. You gotta talk to other people. Like buy a bunch of boxes. I hate to say it, but you gotta buy boxes. Otherwise, you ain't gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And for those of you who are watching,
Only
and
when you're in it,
asking,
Chubby.
how do you get into the game if you're on the buying end? That's what this panel's for. You got 6 guys on this panel that sell boxes that have integrity and make sure there's value in their
5.
boxes.
5.
But just remember one thing: if you're going to go for a curated box versus a random box, it's totally different.
Dude, okay.
I got Jimmy's Christmas box. It was the only box I have ever kept every single book.
Oh,
That is the only box
every
where I went
single book.
right into the. There wasn't a single. He overdid it, which he shouldn't have. And yeah, well, no, you said you did too. I have the message.
Yeah, your Christmas box
He
is
always
really
overdoes
nice.
We just
too.
sat here over the last hour and 37 minutes saying that you need to overdo it.
I know. Well, no, he just forgot it was. I mean, it was only a $50 box. I mean, I think it already went out. The video should already be out. God, I don't know. I'm so backed up and around on different things, lose track of where they're all at. But yeah, I mean, you got to definitely think if you're going to go for a curated or a non, because you can be really disappointed in the non, but that's how it goes if it's not stuff you get. We've already said that.
Qanon?
QAnon.
Non-curated box.
I'll tell you, Hector, the GP thing is one of those weird ones where
I do, yes.
We
I'm
can. It's
gonna
just
work on that.
expensive.
I
Yeah.
want to figure out international.
Hector, so having the GP or not, that's just one of those things that for you, whether it's something that I've done it ways where you've had a box that's just really super overvalued, and that's the GP, right? Saying, hey, this box is this. I've done it where there's specific books. The problem is with the harsh realities of a GP book that you put out there, that could actually be a detriment to some people. They just go, I don't give a crap about that GP book. All right, I'm turned off from this box, right? Other people are going to sit there and say, hey, I don't care. At least I know I can move that. As long as if it's a popular book that's got good value, like in my last box where we're doing the Conversion of Superman #2. Not a lot of people. Some people are really going to dig that book. Some people aren't. But it's a slabbed CGC book in a 9.8. That's a book that's been trending upward. Somebody who gets it that doesn't want it, they know that they can move it real simple, and it's going to value their entire box. So
hey, trade it for a few more.
So matter of fact, if you really want that book, you'll probably find it on eBay in a couple weeks after DJ gets it.
Yeah.
It was funny because when I saw DJ win that on Instagram, all I could think of is, oh, that's already lit.
Yeah, that's what it's gone. It's out the door. It's on eBay already. He took pictures of it as he wanted.
No, I actually love Jonathan Kent. He's hot.
You're in love with
that. Does make sense in some ways.
I think DJ just wants it so Jimmy can't have it. That's what I think.
Well, there's actually from within our group, there were several people that really interested. Biggie Shack was looking for one, and Mark was looking for one, and there's a lot of people that are interested in it. It's an easy book to move.
Well, they know where to find me.
Expect to hold on to.
That's right.
Hold down to your Jonathan, Jimmy.
All right, no need to watch the box battle on Thursday. Now you know.
Although the wheel spin was posted separate live on Instagram, because that was a wheel spin instead of included in the box.
Or if you're sick of the crass commercialism of mystery boxes, just watch Unboxing Match every Monday on my channel.
There you go.
Now, as we're closing out, who's got mystery boxes coming up soon for sale that wants to plug them?
I'm probably going to. I think I'm going to have another run. I figured something different I was going to do. So it's going to be just a signature series one, probably only 5 boxes. They're not going to be expensive. They're going to be, 120 maybe, but every CGC book will be a signature series, maybe even one remarked one. I don't know yet. I'm still kind of going through stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, I've been doing them on Whatnot lately. So like one Friday out of the month, I'll do like a modern show, an indie show, and then I'll do like a mystery box show. I call it Mystery Box Madness. I do a small number, like 10 to 15, and then there'll be a big, GP prize. And I usually start them at auction for $1, so you really can pay whatever you want. After people see the first couple of boxes, they kind of decide, yeah, I could pay a little bit more, or I want to pay a little less. And that's the nice thing about the auctions. But something that I've been doing lately, a lot of people seem to want me to like plug in their mystery box or give them a shout out whenever they do mystery box runs. And I used to do it all the time. I would share every single mystery box sale no matter what. But after a couple of people had some bad runs, I stopped doing that. That's right, Flex Friday. I stopped doing that. So if you're interested in doing a mystery box run, what I started doing is I help people curate, which is kind of what happened with Exploding Pages. He was like, hey, would you mind sharing my box? And I was like, no, I got to look and see kind of what's in it first. And it sounds mean. It sounds mean, but I swear it's like with good intentions. I'm like, I got to see what's in them first.
You're
and
putting your name out there. You can
exactly.
You got to know what you're doing,
Exactly. So I kind of had them like break the boxes down, and we kind of redid them together. And that's something I started doing just to kind of help people kind of get their feet wet in the mystery box game, and they can understand like my method to my madness and my process of making them. And then, they can add or take away from that method, however it suits them best. But yeah, if you're interested in starting a run or just learning, you can always reach out to myself or Jimmy Jam's garage sale. That's one of the best dudes in the game. Me and him have been doing it for a while. And like I said, we talk pretty often, always kind of like throwing ideas off of each other and, just trying to keep the game alive, trying to keep it above water while everybody else is trying to drown it, apparently.
Well, here's one tip if you're new at doing this. Don't message everybody 50 times a day or 300 times a day to buy your box.
Yes.
Just send it out to a few people, a few groups once.
And don't put the stupid plug gif in every fucking tag.
I know. He's literally not taking his own advice.
No, I do every other day or every day, depending if there's 3 boxes.
Time every hour on the hour.
No, I would get from some people. I'm not going to mention names. Every other day, every day I get from a. I don't know how to put it. He's a nice guy and all, but every day I get linked in the same exact mystery box. If I didn't buy it 30 days
Is it
ago,
Jimmy Don?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
he has a list. He puts out. Just,
Yeah, we're all on that fucking list too. I know.
I don't know how to get rid of it.
Which, by the way, if you buy mystery boxes, you are definitely a target. If you buy mystery boxes and do unboxings, people definitely target you. Hey, will you buy a mystery box? They message you. Yeah, it's crazy.
Not,
And he does it every morning. I get
Not-
commented on
Not
that.
if you're a jerk.
honest about the boxes. You don't get targeted so much if you're me.
Yeah, I don't get targeted that much either because I'll throw stuff around. So
I think another good way for people to buy from you guys, though, if you guys are buying mystery boxes, those of you watching this on the rewind, those of you in the chat, if you're buying mystery boxes off Instagram sellers, they'll have a list of, like, if they have 15 boxes for sale, 1 through 15, look at the names of who's buying them. See, go research their videos on what they've bought before or other boxes of theirs that they've opened on their channel.
Stalker.
If you see you guys, I know I'm going to see a certain group of people that are always buying your boxes. It's easy for me to go find where to see your boxes open and what you guys have. Or people I know, like, all right, they don't just buy any box. If they're buying these boxes, there's got to be something to them. It's not an unknown. Now, if I go to someone's page and it's a bunch of people I've never seen, I'm not buying that box.
I'd say, Chubby, I thought you died. I haven't seen you in like months. Really? I thought you did. I mean, it's either that or somebody at the strip joint got to you. I'm not sure.
Also, don't spend more than you can offend. You can
There's Eddie spreading the love.
Wow.
I haven't seen. I mean, but we're not talking about Pokemon cards. So why is Chubby here?
Seriously, consider it like gambling and don't spend more than you can afford to lose on boxes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, if you'd rather have a Grail, just go buy the damn Grail. But like, you have to take some enjoyment out of buying the boxes. Otherwise,
Or just do both.
Like DJ Link says, spent $30,000 in 4 minutes in his last video. You should go check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's an adrenaline rush to it too. That's addictive, right?
Oh, there is. I mean, it's the dopamine of like, oh, you're chasing the dragon, as it were.
Yeah. I'm so
dragon.
glad I got never hooked on drugs. I would be strung out somewhere right now. I love the rush, like getting the box, opening the box, and I love that piece of it. Probably more so than the actual books, but I just love like opening it, and I'm just like, oh, what did I get? It's
managed to avoid a few life pitfalls. Like you're not addicted to tacos either, which I don't understand because they're fucking amazing.
Yeah. I'm trying to shed my addiction to Taylor Winder.
You can't quit me.
That's more of a parasite, DJ.
You gotta say I'm mean.
Goodness. Well, any last words from anyone here?
Jimmy.
No, this is turning into Wisconsin. Goodbye, Gary. Just end this. The shit.
I just want to make sure everyone got the same thing I wanted to say. All right, everyone in the chat, thank you for joining us. Everyone on the panel, thank you guys for coming in and promoting your boxes, getting the word out there, giving us your perspective, and the people in the rewind the perspectives that they may be looking for. I mean, you guys are all integrity, you're all respected, and you're all respectful in the community. Except maybe Eddie. But no, I'm just kidding, Eddie.
You want to watch potential painfall?
He just wish somebody was dead. So
if you're sitting there and you really want to watch something that could potentially go very wrong for me,
yes, come watch. Yeah,
Thursday on the Comic Vets channel. He's got a 5-way box battle, and they're all opening my last round of mystery boxes.
Wow!
So, and I'm going to be there, and we're all opening them all. And I think that Anachronic Comics, I think he was posting. He's not part of the box battle, but I think he was posting his unboxing tomorrow, I believe.
He's going to send the link.
Yeah, so be a bunch of my boxes open real quick, and you're going to watch me squirm.
That's all right. It'll be worth it. All right, chat, members of the panel, thank you guys all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Guys,
Thanks for having us,
thank you all
brother.
for turning
Yep,
out.
thanks,
We had
sir.
a great crowd tonight.
Thank you.
We had a lot of people watching. Thank you all very much. And until next